Sometimes I look around and wonder, when did we start pretending? Pretending like we're fine, pretending like we're busy, pretending like we don't care. Maybe the problem isn't the world. Maybe the problem is that we're pretending to pretend just to feel something real. What happened to us? There was times when it wasn't weird for people to knock on someone's door and say, "Neighbor, can I borrow some flour? Can you help me change a tire?" Now it just feels like people are walking around like they have some kind of point that they want to prove to everyone else and they don't even know what. But there was a time when the world felt smaller and the people also felt closer. Now that the world has more people than it ever has, doesn't it feel like we're constantly alone? It's like we all collectively agreed one day to just stop caring. Stop making eye contact. Stop talking to each other and to stop trying. We replaced how are yous with what do you do. We replaced connection with content, and we've somehow decided to label that progress. But the part that gets me is that everyone knows it's not normal. We all know that something's missing. I've been in a cafe surrounded in a room full of people and felt completely alone. Isn't that weird? And I could say that that's loneliness, but I don't think so. I think it's a symptom of a world that forgot how to love each other and got too distracted to care. Somewhere along the line, we stopped seeing everyday people as other human beings. Nowadays online, you see headlines, avatars, usernames, and not the person. You see someone get hurt, and your first instinct is to argue about whose fault it was, like that would rectify the situation. You can scroll for 5 minutes and see hundreds of people in pain, and it doesn't even feel real anymore. Somehow along the line, we got desensitized to humanity. Someone could be crying out for help, and it would all be buried under memes, ads, and hot takes. And I think a lot of my generation likes to think of themselves as the enlightened ones. We have awareness, we can stop problems, but what people don't understand is that awareness without empathy is just more noise. Everyone turned compassion into politics and kindness into weakness. The whole thing is backwards. Everybody's arguing instead of listening, too busy trying to prove their own points that they've given up on trying to understand anyone else's. And that's because nobody wants to look dumb for loving in a world that laughs at sincerity. You show the tiniest bit of emotion and suddenly it's bros soft. You care too much and you get labeled as clingy, weird, or naive. So everyone ends up building walls of irony around themselves. We make jokes about things we actually want and we end up hiding behind sarcasm because we're scared of being seen. And the truth is, we just don't know how to give anymore. Convenience killed connection and ego killed empathy. But guys, I have the new method. Every time you say thank you, I forgive you, or I love you to anybody, you can fight back against the world that forgot what was important. And it's not that love vanished, it was slowly chipped away. Everyone overnight became nonchalant, and they got this conception that caring makes you vulnerable. And maybe it does, you know? Like, fuck, ain't that the point? But the real irony is, the more we hide our love, the colder the world gets. And then we ask ourselves, where did the warmth and vibrance go? So here's what I think. Love isn't gone, it's just quiet. It's still in there, in the person who gives up their seat on the train for someone else who needs it more. In the friend that checks up on you when you go silent. Or the stranger that says bless you when you sneeze. It's easy to think that one act of kindness doesn't matter, and honestly, at the end of the day, it might not. After all, you are just one person in a world full of billions. But what people clearly forgot is that kindness doesn't just help others. It helps you too. It helps you see people again. Not groups, not sides, not statistics, just people. And that's when everything really does start to change. We forget that humanity is not some abstract idea. We've all made mistakes, ignored people we shouldn't have ignored, and not tried to fix things. Not tried at all. And if you are one of those people, myself included, all we can do is start. Start small if we have to. Hold the door open for someone. Call your loved ones and tell them how you really feel. And forgive someone who doesn't necessarily deserve it. Not because they're right, but because the world doesn't need more people who want to win arguments. Every time you choose patience over anger, understanding over judgment, love over pride, you make the world a little less cold. And maybe that's all it takes. Not a big global movement, not a big speech, but just everyday people remembering what it's like to care again.